Hebrew sister, praying daily, meditating on the scriptures. Hebrew sister,
Princess warriors of the Most High.
Shalom, sisters. Call halal YAHAWASHI. All praise to the Most High that I am back with another video. Most High willing sisters have been doing well through the Spirit, enjoying these feast days, enjoying the Sabbath, you know, making the most of the time that we have, being diligent, you know, doing all that we can do to make our calling and election sure. I'm very honored to be back in this space. I have not made a video in a while, but I just truly been enduring, you know, just enduring through life and changes, and just a season for me that has been filled with humbling, even though I have been experiencing loss at a rapid rate. You know, I have ultimately found gratitude in the things that I have been going through, and so through that, the Most High put it in my spirit to come and give sisters another video. And today I wanted to talk about coping through loss, keeping your faith, and basically enduring through the emotional roller coaster, and you know, how to still love the Lord and endure through life's challenges. And you know, I am going to give a what they call trigger warning, because you know, this conversation can be, you know, somewhat triggering, but I wanted to provide something for sisters that, you know, might give you comfort through the Spirit and comfort through whatever you may be experiencing as well. So I first wanted to start with well, my notes are kind of random, but however, I am going to start with the first step. Let's start with the first step. Just basically acknowledging, like, and discerning all that you're going through. So, you know, you want to acknowledge, you know, the situation that you're in. You want to acknowledge, you know, how is this making me feel, so that you can move forward and you can kind of start finding solutions to how to cope through this, how to get through this, because any change may be uncomfortable, especially when you are I'll say enduring through a loss of any kind. It could be a loss of a home, a loss of a parent, a loss of a, you know, a friend. It could be a loss of, you know, a child, or, you know, even down to like a, you know, losing your car, losing a job, anything, you know. So those things aren't, you know, light matters, but when it comes to the material things, you know, the Lord can always, you know, replace those things. But when it comes to enduring through a loss of, you know, a loved one, that is, you know, it can be really hard. It can be really challenging, and you know, you really have to take those things, you know, like day by day, because it's no physical manual, you know, to tell you. And acknowledging how you feel is like one of the best first steps that you can take, because it helps you, you know, really understand that, you know, my feelings are valid. You know, I am allowed to feel this way. I am allowed to be hurt or sad or, upset or angry or, however I feel about, grieving through a loss of a loved one. So, yeah, acknowledge how you feel. And then when it comes down to like more material things, I mean, you could still be upset and things like that, but you gotta really understand that, the Lord's will is perfect, and that as the Lord, gives, he can take away. So just as he can take away, he can also give and multiply and ultimately, increase you. So even though you've been brought down to a lower state, that the Lord can bring you back up, So I do want to, give sisters that encouragement to just remember, because for me during this time period, I really just been meditating on Job and just meditating on how he didn't waver and his faith was unshakable, and just knowing that, sometimes you just hold your peace and, the Lord will fight for you. The Lord, will see you through whatever you may be going through, no matter how hard that it may seem, because I'll tell you, enduring through a loss of any kind it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Even though you can have those around you to comfort you, even though you can have those around you to say, everything's going to be okay and things like that. It's the times when you might be by yourself and the times when you might be alone and it's just you. So lucky y'all had a slight interruption, but like I was saying, it's the times when you're by yourself, times that you are alone and it's just you. It might only be you in the household, or it might be, just you in a room by yourself, or, you just have a moment to you, are the times where it might be the hardest, the times where you feel like, dang, and it's hitting you, and you just have like a overwhelming sense of emotions. And us as women, we are, we're already emotional, but it just is really heavy. Those are the times that we have to turn to the Lord and make sure that the second step for me was make sure I'm including prayer. After I have acknowledged how I feel, I take it to the Most High, and pray and leave it at his feet, because like I said, even though you might have your loved ones there to say, hey, everything's going to be okay, you're going to endure through this, and you're going to be able to get through it, it can still be hard. And that's a part of being built up through the Spirit. That's the part of enduring through that trial or tribulation that the Lord has sought you fit to go through. And sometimes you just gotta think on these accounts as well as you're reading. Just think of the strength that is in our bloodline. Think of the strength of our foremothers, and think of the strength of our forefathers, and all that they have endured through, and how the Lord has sought them through, especially, those that were sorrowful, or those that were just going through tough times. You gotta know that you can get through it. Know that the Lord will see you through. It can only rain for so long, and it can only have floods and showers and hail and storm for so long. Yeah, so for me, that would be the second thing for me, was to include prayer. Now the third thing for me was that I had to understand that like grieving comes in increments. Like it's not like all at one time. And with that, I had to understand like like my triggers are random and different. You know, I'm like, dang, why do I feel like this? Or why do I feel like that? Or, you know, I might see something or I might hear something and I'm like, I thought I was doing okay today. And then something random just, you know, hits you. And that's a part of, you know, the grieving or loss process, or, you know, just acknowledging that, dang, this is now my new reality. You know what I mean? So I want sisters to be encouraged and just understand and know these steps, so that, you know, if you have a sister that might be going through a loss, or, you know, a sister that may be experiencing, you know, grieving or the grieving process, and might not understand how to get through it, hopefully these steps can help, because it definitely helped me. And like I said, it's going to take some time, but today I saw a precept that really got me back, you know, in a good, you know, mind frame, and gave me very beautiful exhortation through the spirit, and encouragement, upliftment in my spirit. And it is Sirach chapter 39, verse 33 through 35. It says, all the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season, so that a man cannot say, this is worse than that, for in time they shall all be well approved. And therefore praise ye the Lord with the whole heart and mouth, and bless the name of the Lord. So it's like, you know, even though we may still be going through certain things for a while, you know, the Lord will see us through it. And that made me think about Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, look at the generation of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? You know, so it's really beautiful to, you know, have these precepts and think upon them. And you know, I'm thankful that my grandmother every morning has been sending me beautiful, beautiful exhortation through the spirit. You know, even the times when I've been feeling weak and low through my spirit, like what she sends me is like right on time, and always like perfect, like to the T of what I need to hear. And I'm like, wow. So the Lord will place those around you that can help you, you know, benefit and endure, you know, through the time of loss, grieving, or, you know, just learning how to cope, so that you can, you know, keep your faith while we're going through these things, because it's not always easy. The next thing for me, I would say, is to make sure that you have some positive activities to do. And not to sit and be idle, because like my mother always says, and my grandmother, an idle mind is the devil's playground or the devil's workshop. And you know, Satan can try to implant things in your mind to make you feel like, oh, you know, the Lord doesn't love me, or, you know, why is this happening to me? And, you know, just different things in your mind that Satan could try to implant or have you, you know, just thinking about. Find some positive activities to go do. I had a sister that was very kind and sweet, and shout out to Sister Steena. She sent me a workbook. It's a Proverbs 31 workbook. Most High willing, I could put like a picture of the workbook right here. She also sent me a gratitude journal, and I could put you know, pictures of everything like right here. But she sent me a gratitude journal, and a Proverbs 31 workbook. And when I tell you I've been using them, I have been using them, especially like I said, in those times where I'm sitting and I'm by myself, and I might be in the house by myself, and I just have a moment for me. Those are the things that I'm doing. find you a book to read. I have book club with sisters that helps me not to be idle. I have wellness check-ins with sisters that helps me not to be idle. And you can never read the scriptures that are going to help you endure through this too much and meditate on them. Find you a hobby. If you like to sew, if you like to cook, baking, find something that is going to help you endure through this, so that you're not just sitting around allowing those spirits to try to attack you even more and make you feel worse than what you already feel. There is a precept that I wanted to read about that. Sirach chapter 6 and verse 2. Extol not thyself in the counsel of thine own heart, that thy soul be not torn in pieces as a bull straying alone. Thou shalt eat up thy leaves and lose thy fruit, and leave thyself as a dry tree. So you don't want to be in your mind and your own counsel. If you do need help, reach out to a sister, talk to a sister, talk to your mom, or talk to someone who's going to help you and uplift you and help you get through this situation. Don't sit and allow those spirits to fester and kind of eat at you. You want to keep your mind preoccupied and allow this word to be the meditation of your mind. That is also in Sirach chapter 6 and verse 37. It says, let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart, and give thee wisdom at thine own desire. So, as you meditate on this, the Lord will give you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in order to know how to navigate and move through coping with loss and grieving. So, if you need to, get you a journal, write some stuff down. I have multiple journals. If watching your favorite show helps you adjust balance, watch that and get into some activities that's actually going to uplift you through the spirit. Like I said, sewing, cooking, get some music going, find something that's actually going to help. And the last step for me that I wanted to share with sisters is, don't allow your faith to be shaken during these times. If anything, allow your faith to be increased, and trust the Lord, and trust in his plan, and trust in his will for you, especially during these times, because sometimes I feel like there were and are days where I'm just like, I don't even see it. I don't see the plan. I don't understand this. And it's not for us to always understand right now in this moment. I know looking back, when I'm able to look back at this and I've grown and I've reached to the space that I wish to accomplish, I will have a better understanding of why the Lord chose to, build me up in this manner, or allow me to experience certain things. And, I just really thought about, like, do not be like Job's wife. Do not be like Job's wife. Like, that's something that I just kept meditating to myself, because when you experience loss, I was like, Lord, please do not let me lose my mind too. Don't let me lose my mind too. I know I'm losing things left and right. I know, my life is changing. I know I'm going through a different season, but don't, like, I cleaved unto the Lord. Cleave unto the Lord. And that is actually Sirach chapter 2. If you read up a little bit from the one I read in 10, Sirach chapter 2 and verse 3, it says, cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. And whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee order thy way aright, and trust in him. It says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. So, when you are being tested, when you are being tried, when you are experiencing things that make you feel like, you know what, this is too much. Like, I can't do it. I can't take it. I felt like everything I was going through, I felt like, oh my goodness, this is the cherry on top. And then it was something else. I was telling my mom, like, Mommy, every time I adjust, I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, Lord, everything, you know, I accept your will. Then something else was added on to. And I was like, I really feel like this right here is the cherry on top. And then it was something else. And then it was something else. And then it was something else. And then I just was like that's just how I felt. Like, it was no words. Like, I just can't take this anymore. And I'm thankful to have my village around me. I'm thankful to have my sisters. I'm thankful to have my husband. I'm thankful to have my mother, my grandmother, you know. And I am the only one in my family that, you know, follows the understanding of who we are, of being Israel, in our history, in our culture, in our traditions. But they were still there for me, and I was still thankful, because at the end of the day, the Lord can use any vessel that he wants to use to comfort you, to give you advice, to uplift you, and things like that. So I was thankful to have my village there when I needed them, even if we don't see eye to eye when it comes to, you know, understanding of who we are, who our people are, our history, culture, and traditions. But I wanted to give this to sisters because I thought it just might help. So most high willing, this was not only edifying, but it exhorts sisters to gird up your loins and your strength of your mind, that you may continue enduring through this thing, you know, because when we look at the times that we're in, it's a lot of other weighty matters that we have to face, you know. And unfortunately, we don't have the luxury to sit around and cry and, you know, things like that. But I did want to say our feelings are valid. How we feel is valid, you know, through the things that we experience, and we can definitely endure through it. And I give all glory, honor, and praises to the Most High that I do not look like the things that I have gone through. I pray sisters take care of their mental health. Mental wellness is very important to me. And if you haven't done anything for yourself lately, please take the time to spend some time for you. Take a me day, take a me moment. It doesn't have to you know, be a whole day, but it could be 30 minutes to sit in silence, to go for a walk, to read your favorite book, to drink some tea, to, you know, listen to your favorite music, whatever it is that can uplift you and build you up through the spirit, that you may continue enduring. I pray that these tips help a sister. Please share this with a sister that you may know is experiencing a hard time with loss or grief, or, you know, just in a different season in life and is trying to adjust. So I love sisters, most high willing. I will see y'all on the next video. Shalom.
She boo sister.